I was working on a pretty nice video, but that never happened as I got sick on Friday. So now we're just going to have to wait until I recover completely then I can read the script correctly. Today is June 1st on a Sunday. We have come a long way past May already, even though I don't know, I think that felt like a pretty long month if you ask me. And now that I'm sick, I'm still going to make myself say some things. Because at least this voice could be audible through. At least, yeah, no shit it is. So, what of it? I guess this could be that 1 month where I could check out that one server. Maybe. Maybe. Well, now this is where we talk about maybe. So, I always had a problem with the word maybe because it just seemed like a dumbass word. Well, I guess it's not super stupid, but think about it. Would you rather have a yes or no answer or just somebody just saying maybe to you on just a question you want answers for? Because it's like, maybe is so overused. People use it all the time just to avoid confrontation of the results of what they're trying to end. Because a lot of people are scared of being honest with themselves or just straight up thinking that they might hurt the person's feelings if they just had to reveal their honest answer. Or I guess in most cases, they just simply don't fucking know. And then I just automatically just understand that, wow, what a useless fucking input you just gave me. I should not have asked you in the first place. And it's like, you just get like these things where it's like, gee, I wonder who am I supposed to ask or talk to about things that require a yes or no answer that's just only yes or no and not just fucking maybe. Or at least in real life you don't have to deal with that much. Actually, never mind, you still deal with that bullshit. It's just that compared to the online world, people say maybe all the fucking time. So maybe this, maybe that, I don't know, maybe. It's just so fucking annoying because it's like, just give me a fucking yes or no answer. I don't care. I could give less of a shit if you're some sort of or just say a fucking yes or no answer. Okay? Yeah, I don't know, that wasn't really that deep at all. I guess it's just more of just something that everybody probably understands. There's plenty of people like me that just hates the word maybe. And there's plenty of other people. God, that was a nasty cough. There was plenty of other people that just understand what it is to avoid confrontation or just to avoid any difficulties of responding to anything else when you give your honest answer. Because not a lot of people get rewarded when they are honest with themselves, especially online. I mean, what else could you really do by that point when you usually are in the predicament when it requires you to actually be honest with yourself about something, but then it gets you in trouble or gets the other person in trouble? So, you would usually just lie by just picking the opposite answer, but saying maybe is just kind of like a cope. So I guess that's what I mean, when it's not really that good when you use it yourself on these kind of situations. But maybe I'm just overthinking something as simple as response for somebody just thinking simple things. Because, oh boy, does love in the life have to be so simple. I think I'm gonna sneeze for that fucking bullshit. Let me do that real quick. Okay, no, wait, it's happening? Okay, well, actually, never mind, it disappeared. Okay, that's crazy good. I am trying to raise my voice. It should be good enough. There we go. But in uncertain answers, that's one thing, but why should I even go on about that when I could talk about the goddamn ways it is to lie? I mean, lying is not terrible, but I can say that it is not the greatest thing ever. Oh yeah, wow, big fucking surprise when you really got me with that one. But it's you're kind of just pressured to really lie on a lot of situations. Because, being honest about a lot of things just gets people much more upset than if they were to be lied to. But at the same time, lying also proves to be much more devastating if it's your holding back a certain truth that must be said, but then you just can't. And then the situation just bulges up like a balloon that's being inflated until it pops. So it's like, lying is probably much more worse than being honest, but you really just don't have any other good thing whenever you're stuck in those kinds of situations of drama when you just have to really pick what is the least damage control, what is the least damaging shit that could really happen by one thing or the other of your yes or no situation, because you can't just maybe out of this. And even if you did, you're only prolonging the time of like the actual truth that must be said. So you kind of are just left with just wondering, how good can lying be? Not really much of a like a thing, since I already mentioned the maybe parts is pretty much still lying, but whatever. Honesty is such a bitch, but it's something that I like following a lot. But lately, it's more like something that just became a little too much. But it's actually more like just viewed as my own excuse of being an asshole to a lot of people online, because it's always fun to do that shit. I always think of how funny, because I just think it's kind of like good this way, because I don't have to deal with like some other like deconstruction of honest personality, and B, a lot of people get befriended online if you just actually asshole on them or some shit. I know it doesn't make fucking sense, but it really just happens for me. At least that's how it works. I could try to be nice onto anybody I meet for the first time, but it just doesn't feel genuine. It just feels like I'm lying, because you're not like always super nice to anybody you meet for the first time, or just the idea of just having to be nice. And it just takes like a lot of effort to do. Yeah, wow, it takes effort to do like be nice, but it's like, think about it. If you're like me, you don't really are sweet with everybody. You just do things that you're cool with, that you're chill with. That's really it. So you meet anybody, but for the first time, in like especially online, in real life, it's easy to be nice because you're supposed to be polite in real life within American society. If you're a Russian, it's the opposite, because that's where people focus on the honesty and like that kind of culture. But in American culture, you put up those fake smiles. You make sure the person isn't offended with what you're going to say, because you're supposed to make the other person feel like right at home, so then they can do the same for you. That is how you make respect. But I guess it's a lot different online, because you don't really have a face to show. You don't have a smile to give. You're just a bunch of text boxes that you got to deal with, and that you yourself are one. So you just say whatever the hell you want. And well, I just think that's much more honest than just being nice or friendly, because I just can't seem to get that right. just like say hello and how's everything been doing lately? It's like, fuck that shit, dude. Or like, oh my god, that's so amazing. Or just, wow, that is awesome. It's like, fuck that shit, dude. I just want to call somebody a goddamn piece of shit whenever I feel like it. And if they feel offended by it, well, gee whiz, I know they're gonna be offended by it, or they'll just won't care. Just like the rest of us wouldn't care when it comes to insults and other trolling. It's just how it is. So what of it then? Do we bother with politeness online? I say we don't. We can bother that in real life if you're American. And if you're any other fucking foreign race, you can just stick with what you already know within your base culture, because that's what you're familiar with. That's what seems right. I guess that's also how it is for everybody online. Just what seems right, what seems more familiar. Just playing a joke on yourself like the court jester, or just being yourself, which is kind of already like a detriment for how everybody online treats themselves or treat others. It's like, yeah, you're better off just like doing the former. You're better off doing something else. You're better off just being honest with yourself about if you really want to engage within these communities, and also the other things in practice that don't fucking matter anymore. Unless you really need them, like build a fucking social base, or I don't know, if you're a fucking website writer, good job for you. You need the people that read your shit. Or just people making friends on Discord. Golly.